So I'm back again. I'm back at the woods, and I am doing some snowshoeing. Once I go in here, I can see somebody else was here before me, but that's all right. I do it to help the snow bikers, and I also do it to give myself some exercise. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm just going to kind of do a lot of walking. And when I walk this in the summertime, it takes me around 2.5 hours. When I snowshoe though, it takes me approximately almost 3 hours. It's a 4-mile trail, and I can see some bikers have been in here already, and that's good. I thought about buying a snow bike last year, but it didn't turn out like that. And honestly, I enjoy the walk better probably than riding the bike, because even in the summer I ride bike a lot in here, but I sometimes will just want to do the walk, because riding the bike you kind of miss a lot of the nature. You're constantly looking at the ground, you don't really get to see what's around you. But when I'm walking, I get to look around, just like right now snowshoeing. If I was snow biking, I would be constantly looking at the trail constantly, instead of being able to look over here, over there, everywhere, up there. So yeah, that's my thing. But we should be able to see some deer in here. I'm not sure how high my GoPro battery is. In the cold, they tend to die down pretty quick, and I didn't bring an extra battery, so this video will probably go as long as my GoPro goes. And I've probably mentioned this before, but I do these videos just basically for my own purpose, no other reason, just for something I can look back on someday and enjoy my times in my life, the things I did. Maybe when I'm 80 or 90 years old, I can look back and hopefully I'm still doing this. So I went snowshoeing here about a week ago, and it was nice, relaxing. I love it. Very peaceful to me. It does wear you out. It's a little different than walking with tennis shoes in the summer, because with the snowshoes you got to kind of keep your feet apart a little bit. It's not a normal walk. You got to kind of keep them apart so these aren't rubbing on top of each other. But as you see, I don't know if you see, these are all scratched up, being used so much. I don't know how many miles I have on these. They're not a real expensive snowshoe, but I have a lot of miles on these. I'm very impressed by that. Very impressed. I honestly didn't think that these snowshoes would last as long as they did. I talked to some other people who like to walk and trek in here and stuff, and they snowshoe, and they say that they don't do it because their snowshoes, the snow builds up on them. I don't really have that problem. I mean, everything kind of falls through, so I don't really have that problem. Or their straps break. Well, I haven't had that problem yet either. hopefully, you know. And if it does, then I'll go get another pair, because this is something I really enjoy doing in the wintertime. And these have got their well wear on them for sure. And in the winter, I like the snow. If it's going to be winter, it might as well snow, just like it's been doing last night. But we haven't got a lot of snow this year where I live, not like we usually do. And if it's not going to be snowing and just be cold, it might as well just be turn warm and get the flowers back. That's how I feel about it. I had a big breakfast this morning, so I'm taking deep breaths because my belly's still full. Check my tracks. Yeah. And again, like I said, this is a 4-mile walk through here. This here is where you can observe birds and different wildlife there. The city here, or the county, I don't know which one, they put bird food in there in the winter time for all the animals. And sometimes when I come through here, you'll see deer over there also, but and I just see a little squirrel, some little birds. But people hang out in that little shed and you observe different birds and nature, and people sit in there and they take photography. But I don't see deer in this area too much because we're still kind of close to where a lot of people walk. Once we get past this section, this is a section 1, deeper back into the woods, that's where the deer tend to hang out. If my battery lasts that long, then I'm 100% sure almost that we will see some deer. It's rarely, I mean, it's maybe 2 or 3 times of all the hundreds of times I've walked in this woods that I at least see one deer. But this is the more pedestrian area here. There's actually a walkway right there in the summer. But once we get back here, past that little electrical building, deeper in the woods, that's where we'll see more of the wildlife. I had video on my, it's this summer, spring it might have been, baby raccoons. It was like 3 or 4 feet from them, like 3 or 4 of them. And I had a video of that. They're really cute when they're little, but they can be very aggressive when they get older. When I was videoing that, I was wondering where the mom might be. So I'm thinking she's probably not very far. So I kind of took my time and videoed it and left. I'm not even seeing much deer tracks even here. Back over in that part is where we're going to see, if we see deer, we'll see it over there and over in that area, and probably tracks everywhere. There's a little bit of snow flurry right now, and it's cold, but by the time I get halfway through this, I'll be sweating. actually digest my breakfast. Usually I have a guy that I've got to know back here that he walks almost every day. He's retired, and usually I see him. He's been walking back here, I think, for 9 or 10 years, I think he said. I just started like a year and a half ago. But I usually run into him here. And I drive here from my house. He actually lives over on my side of town, and he walks here and walks back. So he does a lot of miles for walking. If it's raining, he usually don't come here, or if it's really snowing a lot. But I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see him today, because it seems like one of those days that he would enjoy a walk, possibly. But he probably went in the other way where I'm going to come out, because I always go the opposite direction that I know the bikes are going to go. Because Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays you go one direction, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays you go another direction. But I always go towards, when I'm walking, I always go towards the bikes facing me, coming at me. That way I can see them coming and I'm not in their way, because sometimes you can't hear them. But he goes the same direction every time. So if he is out here, he'll be coming towards me somewhere. Now if I walk tomorrow, where I'm coming out, I'll be going in that way. And I didn't put my cage on my trekking sticks. I got my mud ones on, but I think they're doing all right. If the snow is any deeper than this, then there may be a problem, but I think it's all right. Once in a while you gotta glance down, check your snowshoes, make sure nothing's coming loose. I remember when I first got these, the first time I ever went snowshoeing, oh my gosh, I was so clumsy, because if you're not familiar with it, you'll really trip a lot, because your one snowshoe will catch on the other, and trying to turn around or anything, it's easy to trip or get snagged on your other snowshoe. But I've done it so much now that, yeah, it's like second nature to me now. But it gives you kind of a more workout when you think about it, because you're using the poles to exercise your arms a little bit, and then your stance is a little wider walking, so you're using different muscles that you normally wouldn't use when you're walking. And then here's the road coming up here that's back in the woods, which goes back to a Girl Scout camp over that way. And then this is where more of the deeper woods become, where a lot of the wildlife happens. This is just a turnaround, and that way is a Girl Scout camp. And now we're entering section 2. And if the battery runs long enough, you'll probably see a snow biker in here, more than likely. haven't seen many squirrels yet either. Usually them things are running all over. In these woods they have like a silver squirrel, black squirrel, and then a typical brown squirrel. And that's usually swamp area in the summertime. Usually see ducks in there laying. I'm wondering if this person who went snowshoeing before me, if they went the whole 4 miles or not. Probably. Usually people who snowshoe, they go through all that, put it on, bring it with you. You're probably going to get as much out of it as you can, because it's not always that we have snow. I'm almost thinking that these shoes are going to last me another year. I'm very, very surprised, really.